Hey, what's up, coaches? Dave Bishop here for RTDB, Run the Damn Ball. Want to do today is I want to talk to you about our blast play. In our offense, it's probably either now our best or second best play over the last few seasons. And when you've got a fullback that can run the ball and you've got a decent sized halfback or wingback, slot back, whatever they might be, guys, you will have the opportunity to run ball. What we want you to understand is this. Today, most defenses, they believe wing T, stop the trap, stop the buck, and you really slow down the offense. Guys, that's not the case for us. We love to run the blast. All right, what's blast? It's ISO. All right. Keep coming with comments, with emails, whether it's on YouTube through the comment section or whether it's shooting me an email at coachbishop@coachboard.com. Please feel free to reach out. Several of you have reached out through Twitter and inbox there. DM me, however you want to go ahead and reach out, guys. I am more than happy to share what I do know. I'm not a genius. I'm not perfect. And I am definitely not the best wing T coach in the country. But we have success and we've done things well over a 20-some year period running what we run. So we are not wing T purists, meaning a Delaware team. We have created our own little system, which I think works well with the kids that we have. Remember, running the ball wins more games. All right, plain and simple. Doesn't mean don't throw it. It just means be good at running the football. All right, so what I want to do today is I want to make sure you're ready for our blast series. We are going to talk to you today about this backfield action. And then next week, we're going to talk about how we block it. We're going to bring in and show you cut-ups the following week. We're going to break it down for you with the backfield steps as well as our offensive line. We're going to implement complementary plays and things like that. So what I want to do right now is I want to go ahead and get into the blast play. All right, and let's go ahead and talk through it. First off, what I want to do is make sure that I fix this screen because you can't see anything. All right, so give me a second here, and let's hope that this works a little bit better. All right, there we go. I don't really care too much about anything beyond that. All right, let's talk about backfield action. Alignment is critical. And so when we talk about alignment, first of all, we want to talk about vertical alignment. How far are we into this backfield? My fullback, what we teach him is his vertical alignment. He sets the whole backfield. And his vertical alignment, his fingers should be 2.5 yards from the heels of the quarterback. We spend a lot of time teaching that. What does it look like? All right. And as coaches, you need to drill it, and make sure that when you're not on a line, that you step it off quite often and make sure your kids are there checking it out. If you don't, then they get lazy, and you don't want them getting lazy because his depth determines his depth. All right. So that's critically important. Our horizontal alignment, we want him, well, first of all, vertical alignment, we're going to be even here. Horizontal alignment on the blast play, guys, I want him right behind the tackle. All right, right behind the tackle. Our wing back over here, he's going to be, his inside foot is going to be 1 foot outside the tight end, and his fingers are going to be 1 foot behind the heels of the tight end. Our backs are in a 3-point stance, and they are facing downfield. I do not like a 2-point stance. That's just me. I don't like them turned in. All right, we run a lot of jet sweep, we run a lot of quick pitch. I need these guys to be able to move laterally, and I also believe in a 3-point stance. They're going to come out lower, and they're going to come out more physical on down block. So, again, just a personal preference and opinion. All right, here we are. Quarterback play. First off, I like a stagger in my quarterback stance. I like a stagger. And what we do is I take his pivot foot, and what I want to do is I want to take his pivot foot, and I want to go ahead and put a toe to instep or toe to heel relationship. That gets him off the line quicker and puts him getting the ball into the running back's hands faster. And to me, that gives the running back a little bit more time to make decisions based on the fact that he doesn't have to worry about an exchange anymore. He's handling, looking for his blocks, whether it be the blast or whether it's down block. Okay? So here's what I like to do. I like to do everything on a clock. All right, with this being 7 o'clock and this being 5 o'clock, this being 6 o'clock. If we're running blast to the left, the quarterback is going to reverse out. Okay, he's going to reverse out. His first step should be at 7 o'clock. And I want his toes. You see the way my arrow is pointing? I want his toes and his feet in that direction. So he's going to overstep the midline, right? The midline is that imaginary line that runs right through the middle of him where the football is located. So he's going to overstep the midline to 7 o'clock. The next step, he's going to understep. So now both of his feet are lined up and they are parallel to the line of scrimmage and perpendicular to the track of the back. All right, that's critical. We want his toes perfectly square. And here's why. One, when we talk about this back track, which I'll give you in a minute, there is no way that those guys their feet will get caught up and trip each other. So critical footwork, in my opinion, is one of the most important things. We spend a lot of time on it. And I will be putting out a drill tape for quarterbacks and how we train their footwork, as well as the cues that I give as a coach to teach him his footwork. So again, I'm going to reverse out over the midline. So I'm reversing out, overstepping over the midline. Then I'm going to understep. What I try to tell my quarterbacks is the two most critical pieces to the success of this play is that you need to get width and depth. And I'll ask him, what are the two most critical pieces? And they should repeat, width and depth, width and depth. All right. So again, now we're going to go ahead and we're going to be perpendicular to the back's track. All right. And parallel to the line of scrimmage. As he reverses out, he's going to be reaching that ball back and he's going to seat that ball into the belly of the fullback. He's going to ride the fullback forward and he's going to get that ball past his front foot. We're going to exchange that weight. The reason why I want to exchange the weight, there's two reasons, and I'll get the first one, is I need him to be able to push, and then I need him to be able to pivot, reverse pivot, and face this direction. I don't want him taking any steps. I just want him pivoting his feet, so that way now they're facing this direction, so that way he can fake the sweep. All right? Fake the sweep, and then he's going to take a 3-step drop. Again, I'll show this to you on Cutups next week. I want to give you the specifics this week. If you want written instructions, I can give them to you as well. Just shoot me an email, and I'll send them to you. All right? When we talk about this play side halfback, he is our blast back. He's going to execute what we call a slide step. So he's going to be gaining ground with his inside foot, and then he's going to get vertical. His shoulders are going to remain square, and he's going to run a straight line to that linebacker. Okay, now this is a simple play where it's just, a down and an out. And we'll talk about line play and how he changes his mindset next week when we talk about all of the things that get executed in front of him. When we talk about our fullback, what we want to do is we want to look at his footwork. The first thing we do is ask him to take a zone step, which is a lateral step with his shoulders square and his toes still pointing forward. His next step is crossover. So it's zone, crossover. His third step is plant. And as he plants, we're actually going to get him to gain ground. And then he's going to work vertically in the hole. Our goal is to get him as wide or close to being as wide as this halfback. Our splits, 2 feet, 3 feet. 2 feet, 3 feet. All right. If I can get him directly behind the halfback, excuse me, I need to sit. If I get him directly behind the halfback, that is what we call executing a freeze technique. Why? It puts this linebacker in a little bit of a crazy situation where he's got to determine where's the running back, where do I stick my head, how do I blow this back up, etc. So if we can get him to execute, we can get these guys to execute a freeze technique. That allows the linebacker to tend to pick a side. We're going to get our fullback to put his head there, and then that back is going to make a cut off of there. All right. Now, our wing back in this situation is a sweep back. Okay. And we could talk about all this stuff over here, but nothing has really changed any. And I'll talk about these steps a little bit later. Especially next week when we start getting our blocking scheme. So pay no attention to this guy over here. Let's pay attention to this halfback in the wingback position. He's going to drop bucket step, okay, at a 45-degree angle. He's going to get depth, and he's going to work to get to the heel line of where that fullback was. All right, so he's going to work to get to the heel line of where that fullback was. He's going to continue to get and stretch the defense. He's full speed now, folks. He is turning and burning. And then what we want to do is get him to the mesh point of the quarterback. Quarterback's going to ride him. He's going to execute a three-step drop, and he's going to continue to carry out his fake wide to the sideline. He's getting depth, or not depth, he's getting width, and his goal is to stretch. Why do we do that? Well, everybody's got an outside linebacker. If that outside linebacker falls in, we want to run the sweep. So the whole purpose is to keep this guy from falling in. All right, we want to keep this guy from falling in, and we do that with the sweep play. All right, if we were to go ahead and run blast and we had a slot, so let's just say this guy were here and he's in the backfield. All right, and you still got your X out here. What we like to do if we're calling sweep is we want to go ahead and put this guy in what we call a ghost alignment. So he's going to get wider and act as if it were a tight end because it times up perfectly. If he doesn't, then what's going to happen is he's going to get past the quarterback or he's going to slow down. So we've got this timed out to a millisecond because the quarterback is actually blindly handing the ball off. He does not see the back. There has to be a trust there that is learned in what we call our perfect track. So important for you to understand that piece, all right? Now, what I want to do is I also want to look at how we execute this from a different set. So let's say we're blasting to the wingback side or to the slot side. If we're blasting there, we're bucket stepping and then we're gaining into that play side linebacker. Okay, you're not going to get a true straight. Now, some people step motion this guy and get vertical. We don't step motion. It's just what we choose to do. So that's why we sweep rather than go ahead and run option. All right. So he's going to take a bucket step, and he's going to get in a hole. If it's 2-eye, it's real simple. He's down, he's out, right? We're not going to talk about blocking schemes. And he's going to execute that blast block. Fullback steps are identical. Quarterback steps are identical. The difference is that now the sweep back is located in the backfield and not in a wing or slot position. Well, how do we do that? First, his alignment is we want him splitting the outside crotch, the outside leg of the tackle, and he's going to execute a head and shoulder fake like he's going on a quick pitch over here, and then he's going to go ahead and go full speed to the mesh point of where the quarterback is, again stretching, all right, and controlling the outside linebacker. We have run blast and blast sweep in all directions, so it's important for you guys to recognize that. Now, when we also talk about blast, if I'm going to put you in the best situation, how do I do that? So if I am looking at a set that has a wingback or a tight slot, what we want to do is we're going to say against an even front, I'm going to look at the quarterback and I'm going to signal blast. He knows his base rule is to run to the 2-eye. So he's going to get to the line of scrimmage. They're going to get the defense set. And our quarterback is actually going to call the play at the line of scrimmage. He's going to tell everybody where we're running left or right. We're going to give him codes, and he's going to go ahead and give them the direction of the play. So we're not giving anything away. My opinion is run where they're not. Run to the bubble. So why run to a 3 technique over here when you can run to a 2-eye over here? And not only that, you're not a 2-eye and a 5, you're a 2-eye and a 6 or a 2-eye and a 7. So take what the defense gives you. Allow your quarterback to make the plays at the line of scrimmage and make those calls. He's capable. And all you have to do as a coach is teach it. So, again, halfback as the sweep back. Now, what happens if you're in sets where there is no wing? All right, well, there's no wing back, and it's a 2-back set, not a 3-back set. So let's say we were running a pro. You've got a halfback out here, split out as a flanker, and you've got your X out here. Who's controlling the outside linebacker? Well, my quarterback is. I don't have a sweep guy. My quarterback is now my control guy for the outside linebacker. So steps are the same, quarterback steps are the same. The difference is when he rides it and transfers his weight to the front foot, he's going to pull it and attack off tackle. If this guy is still falling down inside, we're just going to go ahead and tag it and tell him, hey, quarterback keep. So it's blast keep, blast keep. So the quarterback knows I'm going to ride it in deep, bring that guy, make him fall down inside. And what I'm going to do is now this block is a little bit different. He's going to rather than turn him out, he's going to try to base him and slide his head, if possible, to the outside. Very, very slight. It's not a big deal. But again, blast keep, we could have a text block over here and no different. The quarterback's still going to ride it. Okay, we're still going to do it, but we're going to try to slip our head over there. If we stay engaged on this guy and blocking, I'm just going to tell you that it's rare that he comes off the block and tackles the quarterback. Okay, and just so you know how important this play is against what we do or for how we do it. 3 years ago, we're in the playoffs, and we were playing the number 9 ranked team in the state in the first round at home. And the best play we knew going into the game would be blast. Before the game, I wrote the word blast on our board, and I'm talking to our kids in our pregame meeting. I said, do you guys want to win? And they said, yes, sir. And I said, guys, if you want to win, we're going to run this play over and over again. Are you willing to do that? Our kids said yes. We ran it 45 times. They touched the ball 3 times in the third quarter, 13 total snaps in the second half. Why? We ran the blast. I want to remind you that today is session 2 of our blast series. And if you're not sure what blast is for us, that is our ISO play out of our multiple wing T offense. Last week, we talked a little bit about our running back alignment and steps, as well as our quarterback's footwork. Today, we want to talk about our offensive line play. I'll make some adjustments to some of the things we talked about last week with our backs in the backfield and how they make those adjustments today according to what the linemen are doing in front of them. And then I want to show you some cut-ups. I'm going to try something new today. We're going to try to illustrate some of the things through the software that I have. And then also want to prepare you for next week, which will be hopefully our last session on the blast, which will be our complementary plays and passes out of our blast series. So with that being said, I'm going to go ahead and get into our offensive line rules for our blast series. Okay, I'm not going to spend a ton of time. I'm going to go through these pretty quick, but our basic rule for our play side tackle. Actually, I'd like to start, if we do have a tight end, I want to talk about him. His rules are on, outside, outside, okay? And our play side tackle as well as on, outside, outside. Now, here's where things get a little bit tricky and things get a little bit different, is if there is a B-gap defender, he's going to give a call and let the guard know that they have to perform an X block. A lot of the traditional wing T guys talk about it being XB. Our line splits are a lot different. We're 2 foot, 2 foot, 3 foot. So it's a little difficult for us to X block everything. But that when you get that B-gap defender, he's going to give a call, and we're going to perform what we call a text block, okay, between him and the guard. And then also what we do is if we've got a situation where there's a linebacker walked up to the line of scrimmage after we call the play, they're going to give a call, whatever you want to call it. You want to call it a down call, whatever you want to give it a call. Sometimes you may not need a linebacker walked up, but if you have a 2-eye and a 4-eye, it's kind of the same situation because they've canceled the A gap and the B gap, and we'll show you how to do that. Our play side guard, his rules are gap on, backside linebacker. He may have a possible text situation with the play side tackle, and his rule is to go ahead and block the first defender past that play side tackle. Our center, on, backside linebacker. Key, always step play side first to secure that play side A gap. And then he may perform what we call a switch call between him and the backside guard. So if we've got a 2-eye backside, he and the guard will switch. You saw some of that and what it looked like in our midline series. And then our backside guys are going to scoop, and backside guard may have that switch call, so he'll wrap around that wrap around the center and get that backside linebacker. So there is a possibility there if he's not scooping and trying to get across anybody's face that they may get a switch call there. So let's take a quick look at some of the diagrams and what that may look like, okay? And so you'll have to bear with me. I'm going to have to move my head around several times. So this is probably our most simple front to block. So if we're facing an even front and we've got a 2-eye and a 5, I don't care where it is, whether it's strong or weak, and how we really get the best and most mileage out of this play is to allow our quarterback to make the call at the line of scrimmage. So we can call blast,
And if we're facing an even front, we know that they're even. He's going to find that 2-eye and 5 if possible, and he's going to call the play to that 2-eye and 5. So it's pretty simple. We've got that down block here because he's got an angle. He's on an inside. He's going to turn out. Now, what we like to do is we always like to have our halfback take some type of slide step. So he's going to slide, gain ground, and get into the hole. All right. There's been times where we would take this guy and we'd straight step and get in there as fast as we can. What I like to do is try to keep the footwork same as possible. If we can do that, it would be preferable, because we don't want to have the kid have to think, well, on this play I have to do this step, this front I have to do this step. So what we want to do is we want to go ahead and slide step and get inside. All right. If I've got an even front and I've got a 3 and a 5 to the side that we are running the play, all right, so let's just say we have 2-3 techniques. All right, I probably wouldn't be running blast there, probably either running trap or quarterback sneak. But if we do get a 3 and a 5, we're going to text that so that tackle's down first, the guard's kicking out. This step right here should allow enough time for that back to get through and blast on that linebacker. All right, for some reason we can't see this, so let me get to a full screen here. My apologies. All right, here we go. That looks a little bit better, and then I'm going to have to move my head. So if we have an even front and we've got a walked-up linebacker, so we've got that wheel linebacker, you can see him right here. He's walked up at the line of scrimmage. Well, it's hard for this guy to get in here and get movement. So we give a call. Let's just call it a down call, because if he knows he's down, he's down. And what we do is we're going to kick with that last man on the line of scrimmage with this play side halfback. So that secures all of our gaps where we got 2 bigs here and we've got a kick here, and that guy's going to insert in between the down block of our tackle as well as our kick block of our halfback. So again, come up with a call, whatever it is you want to call it, and just make it simple. Those guys know that there's somebody walked up. They've got to make sure that it's blocked. Now over here we've got an even front, but we've got a switch call and a text call. So over here on the back side, okay, we're texting it on the front side just like we saw up here. So we've got a 3 and a 5. We're running it over here. You see your center blocking back on the 2-eye. That guard's wrapping around, and he's picking up that backside linebacker. Again, you can look at the diagrams. I don't want to spend a lot of time on them today, but you guys have all this that you can go over multiple times over the next few weeks. So let's go ahead and take a look at the odd front. And let me move my head again. Let me get, okay, perfect. I don't have to move it one time. So if we got an odd front, a lot of the 3-4 teams today like to line head up. And that may or may not cause issues, but to me, it's an issue because sometimes they're stunting, sometimes they're basing. So what we do is we tell this guy to attack, and if he can get inside relationship and turn that guy out, great. If not, take him where he's going to go. This halfback's going to slide step, and he's going to run at the butt of that tackle. And what's going to happen is he's going to read. So if this guy bows inside, he's going to come around the backside of the tackle. If this guy gets to turn him out, he's going to read it and come on inside, okay? Again, we've got on backside right here. He's going to go ahead and take a play side step and work to the backside linebacker. We've still got the sweep guy that we talked about last week. And we've got scoop, and this guy should be stepping and hinging and high wall and backside as tight end. I think we discussed it last week. One of the reasons why we do that is because we like to run the blast and run a tight end screen back to the tight end. So he's always looking the same on this. Now, you can have an odd front, and let's say they give you a 4-eye backside. It's no different than having a 3 and a 5 against an even front. So again, we're going to get a text call over here because he's got a B-gap defender. He's going to block down. He's going to kick out. We're going to take that slide step, and we're going to look for that kick out block right here and just try to slide in between and get that block on that linebacker. The hardest block to make here, though, is this backside guard because he has got to scoop and block the backside linebacker. So what you find a lot of young guys and inexperienced guys, they're going to run right at this guy, and he's going to run over the top. So you want to run through the heel line of that nose guard. Okay, especially if he steps. Now you can pick him up. If you know that you've got stunners that week, you can work that little zone concept between these two guys and work level 1 to level 2. All right. Scoop, high wall, again, my sweep guy. All right. Now, 3-3 stack. If they play base, a lot of 3-3 stack guys do for some reason. I do not know why they don't do firing in near as much as what they used to years ago. To me, that causes a whole lot more havoc. And what you end up with is they'll get you, but you're going to get them and gash them from time to time. So the mindset is no different, all right? We'll never block that play side linebacker with a lineman, all right? We're never going to block the play side linebacker with a lineman unless he's walked up. So we've got 3-3 stack. He's going to, now the difference is he's going to run straight at this guy, okay? Again, because of what we're doing. So these two are essentially responsible for those two, all right? The play side guard, he's going to take care of the Mike linebacker. Center's going to take care of the nose. Backside guard, just like you saw, he's going to step play side, take care of the backside linebacker. We're going to scoop, and we're going to high wall, all right? So that is it in a nutshell. You're going to be able to go back and look at this stuff and listen. Please send me emails, send me questions. I know I've got several this week, and some folks want to see some new concepts coming in. They want to look at counter as well as some of our play action pass, and we've got that. So, again, keep sending me emails, coachbishop@coachboard.com. You can comment on the YouTube channel and ask questions, as well as DM me on at CoachBoard1, or at CoachBishop1 on Twitter. So let's go ahead and take a look at some of these cut-ups. All right, and guys, just to be honest with you, I've not got a lot of experience at this, and I'm having to learn because it's different, and I got to double-click everything. So bear with me if I do mess it up. So what we got an even front over here, all right? But notice the alignment of the halfback. He is too far forward, and so what you're going to get, this looks like a 3 technique, so I believe, so you're going to get a text call. Okay, maybe not a text call. Sorry, just the angles. So what you've got here, but notice, right, my halfback, he doesn't allow that tackle who's playing too high to get any movement, right? And he ends up smashing that guy in the back. If it were a text block, it would be even worse. All right, he would just run smack dab to the back. So that little zone step that we like to do, all right, does help. I love the guy. He gets in there and he plays hard, but at the same time, it is an issue. All right, okay, let me back this up. We've got basically a twin set. So it's twins with a tight closed over here. And we're going to run blast to the weak side. We're going to run blast. This guy should be blast block, and we don't have a sweep back. So our rule is if you don't have a sweep back, the quarterback is the controller for the outside linebacker. The other pieces, you do have twins over here, so you have 3/2, which helps eliminate guys out of the box. All right, so from what I see here is we're going to get a base look like a 2-eye. So he should be blocking here. He should be blocking here. Your center should end up being up on that linebacker right there. Well, okay, that's interesting. All right, we should get a scoop here and a scoop. Now, I believe this week because of some of the guys and what they were doing, I believe we high-walled backside with the tackle. Again, game plan from what you might see. All right, now this back right here, about $140 at best. Watch him come in here and put it on the linebacker. All right. Now, he gives him everything he's got. But because of that, we end up breaking that tackle because of great block by him. All right. Fullback does a great job breaking tackles and picking up extra yardage after contact. This is a team that loves to run 3-3, and we figured out how to get them to break the stack in the first half. And they were pretty successful at stopping us, but we were able to run some stuff that got them out of the stack. And so in the second half, this is the first series. They're in a traditional 3-4. They're playing all head up. All right, so because they're playing head up, we should get Well, okay, hold on. A block here. He should work from here to the linebacker, and this back should end up blast blocking, right? We should be base here, scoop to the linebacker, scoop across his face. Watch this halfback right here. He weighed about 180, and he rushed as a halfback for 1,700 plus yards this year, but he also was a great blast blocker. Now, again, the same guy that you saw on the first screen, notice he's a little too far forward. That alignment is critical, but watch his attack. He gets in there, attacks, runs his feet, and keeps on the block. Just a tremendous play by the young man. Again, now we're running it. Same series, believe it or not, guys. We ran power and blast. Back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. All right, nothing's changed. You got a 3-4 look. All right. I think they reduced down over here, but everything else is head up, so he should be blocking here, right? The center should be blocking. I keep saying blocking here, and you guys, when you saw me a couple weeks ago, I'd say block here, and it would never happen. So I'm going to try this a little bit better here. So you should have your center here. He should end up on the backside linebacker. His goal is to get on this guy and turn him out, right? We should get him on that play side linebacker, and this guy should be controlled by my quarterback. All right, now that puts him on him. Your free safety is the free player to go ahead and make the play. Again, another great block by the halfback. All right, another great block by the halfback. That is key. All right, 3-3 stack. Okay, this is against a 6A team this year. We're a 3A team. And again, we're in a twin set. We got a tight end up top. And what we should be getting from the looks of things right here, hang on, is my tackle here, my center here, right? On backside, he should work to that linebacker. He should work play side to that linebacker. Back should end up on this linebacker. He's a free runner, but should be controlled by my quarterback by running keep. All right? So, again, we've got everybody blocked and everybody controlled. Tight end should step and hinge, but I believe he ends up running downfield for some reason. But again, we're talking about 16, 17-year-old kids. All right? Now, nothing more frustrating than watching a receiver jog and watch the play, and if he blocks his man, this is a touchdown, and I believe on this series we end up having to settle for a field goal because he's just kind of jogging. All right, if he makes that block, we score, and like I said, I believe we settle for a field goal on that play instead of a touchdown. One thing I love to do is get in a lot of different formations. So you've got guard, tackle, tight end over here. You got center, guard, wing back, tight end over here. And we're going to run blast strong. Now, this is a young guy. He was placed in because of injuries. So, again, rule on outside, outside. Rule for tight end on outside, outside. So he should probably block him. He's going to end up blocking him. He should bucket step, get in a hole, and blast block the play side linebacker. Guard should end up on the Mike linebacker. So we're going to try to diagram this out here. All right, on outside, outside from what I see is here. He should be on this guy here. He should bucket step, get in on that linebacker. All right, guard should work to the nose to this linebacker. Backside guard should step play side hard and work to this linebacker. And we should high wall over here. And chances are we are going to scoop this guy with the tackle. Again, I don't remember the concept that we put in. And he is now my sweep back. He should get a head and shoulder fake and come this way. Now you see my halfback hobbling. The play before he ran buck sweep and actually broke his foot. So that is why we're not getting a really good sweep action from him. Not his fault. Okay, he ended up out and he was out for the rest of the season. Okay, so again, let's take a look real quick. I'm not going to diagram it, but we got our center's got a nose. He's going to play him. I think he's a little bit shaded backside, but he's on, so he's got him. Tackle's got this guy. He's an overhang. All right, he should be controlled by the quarterback. We should slide and get in this gap and pop that play side linebacker. Guard should work nose to the backside linebacker. Backside tackle should scoop, which he does a really good job getting across his face. The only thing I don't like, if you look at my play side tackle, he does position step a little bit. I'd love to see him run his feet more. And that way he doesn't get an arm on that guy. Now, one of the things I love to do is take a hard-nosed kid and go into what we call our Buffalo set. So he is the play side kickback. So there's no halfback in the game. We were getting light on halfbacks. They were real young. So I took my toughest guard and I put him in the backfield. All right, he's going to read this block because they're in a 50 look. All right, so he's going to read that block. If he comes in, he's going to go outside. If he turns him out, he's going to come inside on this linebacker. Quarterback should control him. We're in an unbalanced set, so the quarterback, again, there's no sweep back. He's going to ride and should carry out his keep fake. Run it back real quick. Again, watch that bam back. He's reading the block. That guy steps inside. He reads that. He goes outside, picks up that linebacker. All right. Super job by that guy. He was a little tight. All right, let's take a look here. We're in an unbalanced set. Okay, we're in an unbalanced set down here to the bottom of the screen. It is a 3-3, but what they've done, because it's an unbalanced, is they've shifted their front. And what we're going to get, if I'm not mistaken from the angle I see, we are going to get a text concept. So you're going to get down here. We're going to get kick here. We should be blasting here. The center should end up play side hard because he's not covered here. Guard should end up, right? And then we should scoop to that backer. All right, so let's take a look and see if we actually get it done. We got the text up top. He's down, kick, right? Probably a little more penetration than I'd like, so that means his angle is probably a little too deep. Young halfback, he comes in, takes care of business. You see the center up on the mic. And their backside linebacker gets into the line of scrimmage. Our backside tackle picks him up. All right. And here's why the ball should be in the outside arm. Because we get a strip right there, and we get lucky. The ball gets knocked out of bounds. We end up kicking a field goal a couple plays later. All right. Now, while this is not a linebacker walked up, what I do want to do is make sure that you understand that all the gaps are canceled. He's in a shade. So whether he's in a 2-eye or a shade in this gap. So you got A gap canceled. He's in a 4-eye. B gap is canceled. Our guys are smart enough to recognize that we have to give a down call. So what happens is he's going, my guard, come on. All right, my guard's going to block down. My tackle's going to block down. This back should skate through here and pick up the linebacker. Okay. These guys should be handled with the blockers here and should also be controlled by my quarterback's action keeping it. All right, you see the quarterback taking off, getting outside. My slot gets inside position. I'd love to see him stay on that upfield shoulder. It's not a superior play. We pick up 5 or 6 yards. But you can see how they play that off, right? There's that play side halfback. He's stepping straight. He's reading, coming off that down block. All right, freebie for everybody. While we're talking blast, which is ISO, we also run what we call smash. Smash is, ISO is one back on a linebacker. Smash is two guys on a linebacker. So what we really should have is this guy who is a young guy. All right. He's a young guy. He hasn't been a starter the whole season. He should go outside and try to box this guy This young man should end up coming through and boxing that guy. So you get 2 on that linebacker. All right. And I think he gets caught up inside. We still end up with 2 on him. And just so you guys know, that watch the play side guard on the linebacker. That's pretty special. All right, so that right there, guys, is smash.
Today, we're going to talk to you about our complimentary plays off our blast action in our blast series. We're going to discuss our blast sweep, our blast keep, as well as our blast reverse, and talk to you about some of our blast passes and how we may set up our screen to our tight end. And with that being said, let's go ahead and dive into just some diagrams of what we want to discuss. First thing that we need to be able to do is determine how do we control this force defender with our blast. So in this situation, we're running blast weak, and we are not a step motion team. So a lot of your step motion teams are going to run what they call belly option. We're not a step motion team, so we had to come up with a way to control this guy. And the way we control it is with our blast sweep. Remember, we talked about it with a backfield action. If you're not sure, go back and check out our RTDB broadcast where we're talking about our backfield action in our blast series. The other thing, that is in a 40. If you're in a 50, you've got to be able to control this guy right here, because he can come around the back and trip your guy up with his hand, or he can pull around the back over here and help clean up, because this guy's going to be ISO'd on. So what we have to do is control that guy, and we control that guy by blast keep or blast sweep or blast keep. So what I want to do is I want to look at our blast sweep, okay, and how we go ahead and determine what we do. So I've got a guy in our box who's in charge of if-thens. If this guy falls in and makes a tackle, then we're going to run blast sweep. All right, same concept over here. If this guy over here falls in and he makes a tackle, then we're going to run blast sweep. So we've got blast sweep to the weak side. We've got blast sweep to the strong side. You've got to determine which way is best for you to run blast, and then also have your sweep action off of that. Let's go ahead and take a look at our cut-ups and our mindset when we talk about if-then statements. So here we are, and we are in an important game. This is a game-winning drive against probably our biggest rival. They're right up the road in the next county. And the reason why I call them our biggest rival is because in a series, I think it's 26 wins to 24, 26 to 25. So that's pretty dang good when you're talking about who wins and who loses, and it doesn't matter the record of the team. As a matter of fact, the team in blue, they were they won 1 game all year. At the time, we went in ranked number 10 in the state, and they beat us. They went 1-9 that year. The only win they had was against us. So what we're doing is we are near the goal line. We're running blast, and as you can tell, it's probably not a good play because they do have us outnumbered to the weak side. We probably needed to be running blast up top. But I have a coach who's in charge of reading the guy that's highlighted. If he falls in, then we're going to come back and run blast sweep. Now, I can't lie. Our guys are gassed, and the guy that's in the wingback position does a terrible, terrible job of faking. Our quarterback does a terrible job of faking. That is lackadaisical. And this is like the first or second game of the year, so we're not executing well at the moment. But as you notice, that guy falls in. So the coach says, hey, he's falling in, right? Look at the gap that you have outside of that guy now. We come back the next play, and now we're going to run sweep to control that guy. So we're going to run sweep, and that guy's going to fall in. Here he goes falling in, and we walk into the end zone. Pretty simple concept with if-then mindsets. Okay, now, why I've got all these drawings up here. Here it is. First off, we're going to run blast up top. All right, we're running blast up top. Oop, that's not what I'm looking for. Here we go. We're running blast up top. Well, let's try that again. I'll undo that. All right, so we're going to run blast up top, the top of the screen. We're going to be reading the guy in highlight. Now, the reason why I have the arrow on my slot back is because there is no tight end. So he has to be ghosted for this play to work, which means he's going to line as if there's a tight end there. And we do that for more than just this play. And so we're going to watch the guy in the highlight when we run blast up top. The sweep is a little bit better. The action's much better. The fake's much better, but still not where I want it because we're supposed to be carrying it out 5 yards downfield, and we're jogging to the line of scrimmage. All right. Notice that guy, his footwork, he's not sure, is he in, is he out, and then he gets himself into the hole. So coach upstairs says, hey, coach, it's time to run the blast sweep. Time and alignment's much better, and he does it. The outside guy does a much better job of playing force, but unfortunately he's playing against a much better athlete who gives him the dip and head and shoulder, who gets outside. So again, sweep, how we look at it, what are we looking for when we call it. Now, both of those situations, you weren't seeing a guard pulling. Our first few years, we pulled guards and it was terrible. Then we didn't pull guards and it hurt us. And now we've decided we're going to go ahead and figure out how do we pull guards successfully. And our timing, this is a scrimmage, our timing is not great, so we're going to run blast up top, okay, to our slot back. But in this situation, we're going to run blast sweep, and you're going to get that halfback down here at the bottom of the screen. He's going to head and shoulder fake, and we're going to get a guard pulling. So I'm going to run this back a couple times. I want you to watch the proximity between the guard and the fullback, and it is terrible. They have to stop. They have to slow each other down. But because we have a guard pulling, he's able to kick the safety. It's probably a 2 or 3 yard play, maybe even a loss. But because we've got a guard out there, he kicks the safety. We're able to pick it up and pick up 10 plus yards. Next thing, we are in an unbalanced set. You can see our alignment is too close to the line of scrimmage and too close to the quarterback. So when we're talking about alignment where that arrow is, I can tell you this play is not going to be good already. The other thing I want you to notice is that the wingback, okay, that guy right there, is the number 4 guy. So you got guard, tackle, tight end, wingback. Later you're going to see him outside. Because he's in that situation, he is a sweep back. Let's go ahead and look at the timing is terrible. Again, between the guard and the fullback, they run into each other. If we're able to get the guard out, this is a bigger play. I believe the back is able to cut back against the grain. The other thing that is not good is notice when the ball carrier gets down or gets the handoff, he's downhill immediately. We like to get that guy to stretch. We like to get him to stretch, okay? My tackle does a terrible job. He's not supposed to block that guy. He's supposed to block down and get that guy to squeeze. So again, we're in a scrimmage, but I want to show you the concepts and how all this works. He gets cold cocked pretty well. All right, 50 front, overhang. It is now 2nd and 8, and the reason why it's 2nd and 8 is because the play before, that guy highlighted falls in on blast and makes a play. So, man up in the box. Coach, we need to run sweep. Next play, we come back. Our timing between our guard and our fullback is much better. Fullback does a terrible job doing what he's supposed to do because he hunkers down. I like a guy who's going to get in there and get physical and dirty. But watch what happens now that the guard's out front. That block right there allows that guy to cut back. If he's not there, we probably tackled at the 45-yard line. Instead, we end up with a 35 yards extra gain, and that's a big, big play in that game. All right. Why did I put this in here? It's a wingback. You've already seen it. But for some reason, he decides he wants the head and shoulder fake. Not a good idea. That throws the timing off. It throws his alignment off and proximity between he and the quarterback. We pick up a lot of yardage, but if he hits it fast, this is a big play. We probably score a touchdown instead of picking up about 20. See how slow that hits? He's not able to get his speed up to where it needs to be. He's probably in the end zone untouched if he doesn't head and shoulder fake. Watch him up top. Okay, we're going to discuss now blast keep. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to roll our blast keep concepts up here for you. We're going to talk to you about it and show you some of the diagrams. So here's my halfback. He is not in the box. He's not part. He's not attached. There's not three backs. So how do we control this outside linebacker? This is my control guy, the quarterback. We're faking blast and we're faking keep every time. You should be riding hard and carrying out your fake 5 yards. The one thing that I did not like in the cut-ups that I have is our, I'll be honest with you, execution is not where I'd like it to be. Over here, same way. You know, there's no other back in the backfield. He's out. He's removed from the backfield. So we're going to run blast. Quarterback's going to run keep and keep it in there to control that outside linebacker. We've got some cut-ups for you guys to look at right now. And so I want to show you again just the if-then mindset. We're going to watch the guy that's highlighted. We're running blast in his direction. What is he doing? Okay, because they have brought an extra outside linebacker over. That's your corner, or they've run the corner over, and that guy's your outside linebacker. So let's keep an eye on him and let's see how he reacts to blast. Quarterback does not do a very good job, in my opinion, of carrying out his fake. Our alignment in the backfield is not very good. But see how he gets in there and makes a play. Look at the edge if the quarterback is carrying out his fake hard. Now, one of the things that we talked about earlier is the alignment of our wingback in our formation. He cannot get, see how far he is off the quarterback? He can't get to that sweep alignment. So in this formation, it is a keep concept and not a sweep concept. Next play, it ends up being 3rd and 5. Alignment between halfback and fullback is terrible. But that guy's kind of falling in again. See him sticking his nose in there. And because of that, we're able to get around the edge. If this guy falls in, then we run sweep or we run keep. Now, notice, where's our wingback? Our wingback is inside. And because he is inside, right, he's inside, what do we have to do? Now it's a sweep play. So I'm not really sure who called keep. It may have been the head coach. Terrible call. But that should not be happening because he's stretching the defense. He's also alerting the defense to what's going on. So if you notice, the safety's widening with the sweep guy, and he's able to make a play. Now, granted, the quarterback does a good job running the ball. But know your formations and know what your options are. This is smash keep. Both backs aligned to the same side of where that guy is highlighted. We're running both backs into the linebacker. The guy highlighted had been falling in, so we go ahead and we run smash keep. Quarterback could probably do a little bit better job of riding it, and he's not being able to get an arm tackle. I'll have to break it. But now it's 1st and goal at the half-a-yard line versus being there. All right. 4th and short. Again, smash keep. This is first round of the playoffs. It's 4th and about 1. They've got everybody on the line of scrimmage. We're running smash to the top and keep with the quarterback. If he rides it a little bit better, he probably got a little bit better play, but he picks up about 10 yards regardless. One thing that is true is this, is that it is a great short yardage play. Your complementary plays are great short yardage plays for what we do. Why? People are thinking that you're going straight at them. And if they think they're going straight at them, they're going to do things they probably shouldn't be doing or what they've been coached to do. So think about these plays, but also know this. If your guy on the outside is not falling in, it's not a play worth running. So that's why they're complementary. They work in conjunction with. They're not your core plays. They're plays off of your core plays. We also run reverse. We can run an H reverse. So what you see here is the halfback running the reverse off the blast. If you get a blast here, you should have the halfback running his sweep track or option track, and we tell them to get there fast. You can also run it to the tight end. All right, there's your tight end. This guy's going to fall in. He's going to bucket step and go, and all your actions same. Again, we're not going to talk about our blocking schemes, but the one thing I'm going to throw out there for you now is we do not and should not block the end man on the line of scrimmage. If it's a 40 front and these guys are taught hands-on, this guy blocks down, he's going to squeeze. If it's a 50 front, he sees that guy block down, he should come around the heel line. So we don't block him. Doesn't mean that we never block him, but we're not supposed to block him. And again, we will talk about other ways to block. If you're interested in any of these plays, remember, hit me up in my email. Okay, hit me up in my email. Call me, whatever. Okay, why is this guy highlighted? Because he screws up. He runs blast up top. We are not running blast up top. My tight end's right there. We should be running blast here. You'll see the quarterback verse out, and then we're going to hand it here. He about destroys this whole play. We got a guard, backside pull in. He gets outside. The one thing that we love for this play to do is we love it to be stretched. All right? A lot of times those kids will get the ball and they come downhill. It is stretch, stretch, stretch. Now that's in the boundary, so it's a little bit tougher to stretch, but incredibly important to stretch the play. Here's a great example of stretching, and we've been on this guy all year on how to stretch. So what you should have is blast from this back into this linebacker. He should be coming and stretching. We should not be blocking that guy right there. So we can watch. Let's watch this guy, and then we'll go back and watch the tight end and the backfield action. Right? What does he do? He comes down the heel line, and he takes himself out of the play. That's why we don't block him. I think I've seen that guy make the play, make the tackle once or twice in all my years. Okay? So let's watch our tight end. He gets the ball, and he's stretching, stretching, stretching. Why? That allows the guard to get on that outside guy. He's able to get on his shoulder, and because we stretch it, he's able to pick up extra yardage. We've got twins up top. This halfback is the same halfback who screwed up earlier. For some reason, he's running quick pitch. I'm not really sure why. That's about the second game of the season. And so let's watch our tight end right here. Stretch the play. Follow the guard, stretch, 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 get outside. That allows the guard to get outside, and we're able to pick up about 20 yards on the tight end reverse. In a scrimmage, we mess it up again. The back should be on the right side, not the left side. But at least he carries out his sweep or option fake, which now draws, right? He shouldn't be there. He should actually be here. Because we should be running blast right there. So we do run it with the fullback and the quarterback, but not this knucklehead. He should be helping out with full action right there. You're probably wondering, why are you showing me this play if it's always wrong? Okay, notice sticks, 4th and about 5. We walk into the end zone in that situation. To our halfback. We should not block. Should not block the last man on the line of scrimmage. But our guard gets a little antsy, and he picks him up. If he doesn't and he gets outside, the back doesn't have to bow it as far as he does and lose all that yardage. Okay, his speed is able to get him around the corner. Pick up great yardage on this play in this situation. This is a game that we're playing for the number 2 seed in the region. Again, that is backfield. Okay, that is your halfback reverse. The halfback reverse. We want to go ahead and talk a little bit about our pass plays right now. And one of the things that we want to look at when we talk about our pass plays is this. I want to talk about our wheel. Well, I've got a bunch of them, but I want to talk about our wheel, and I want to talk about our base blast pass concept. So our base blast pass concept that you notice over here on the right, what we have is a basic set of rules where number 1 is always responsible for the corner, number 2 is responsible for the flat. Key to making this work is you must block down, must block down. Why? These guys are reading your release. If you release vertical, if you release outside, they're going to think pass. If you block down or you release down, they're thinking buck sweep, so they'll come up. We're able to get behind them and put ourselves in a great position to have open players. When this play doesn't work, it's usually because these two guys didn't do their job and didn't step down. The other thing that we want to do is run blast wheel. So we're going to run blast to the right side and wheel back away. His job is to take the corner with him and possibly the safety. So we're going to get him to reduce the splits like he's running a crack route. He's going to get we get out two tights. He's going to release, and he's going to get his hands, and he's going to get inside the corner and goal to pick up two people again. What we want to do is take two defenders with us anytime possible. All right, let's look at our blast wheel. I'll show you a good one, and I'll show you a not so good one. Reduce split into the boundary. We should be running blast over here. He's going to come close to the line of scrimmage, wheel outside and up the sideline. Quarterback should ride blast to the right, three-step drop. Great catch and pass. Now this is too tight. I do not like the timing between the quarterback and the running back. I think it's slow. Quarterback should take his reverse out, take his three-step drop, and launch the ball quickly. And instead, he lobs it out there. We pick up about 12 to 15 yards, but if he gets it in his hands a lot quicker, this is a much better play. See, the ball should be gone by now into that back's hands. He just lofts it out there. And we pick up 15, 16 yards, but in the end, it should have been a much better play. Put the ball in the guy's hands so he can make a play. All right, I'm going to stop right here. This is not blast. We're actually running power up top, and we've got pro down here on the bottom, but I like to take and run blast Y screen. This guy needs to be over here, and we run blast this way. So we'll have blast action this way. Quarterback steps back. As you notice, we've always talked about our tight end whose backside high walls. The purpose of high walling is to set up the screen. But you can also run power. And I want to show you good bad right here. Watch the tight end. First of all, he lets an inside release, which is a no-no. He should step and hinge, get inside that guy. And then secondly, notice he takes him upfield about 3 yards, and he doesn't need to do that. He needs to get him, turn him outside. We have a 2nd and 20, and now we're back down to a 3rd and 2. Okay, we'll stop right here. Blast pass. Regardless of the formation we're in, we're running blast over here. Okay, down at the bottom of the screen. The tight end is number 1. The back in the backfield is number 2. So you should get a corner route by number 1 and a flat route by number 2. That could be a tight end on a wing. There's so many different combinations. It could be using, we could run blast pass to the top where number 1's running a comeback and number 2 is running the out route. Just depends on how you want to put your concepts. But all it is blast, faking blast to the right. We're running a pass out there and using the same numbering system that we use regardless of what the formation is. Number 1 always does something, number 2 always does something, and it's always the same. And what I mean by that is this: number 1 should always run the corner, number 2 should always run the flat, period. We got tags, we got other things, but that is for another talk. So what I want to do today is I want to thank you guys for coming in. Hey, RTDB, baby, win more games running the damn football.